Welcome back. Today in our Sunday Spotlight, the winter of 2025. How would you rate it? Did it seem snowier, colder, icier? Here to break it down and give us a sneak peek of the spring season that's just arrived is WFSB Chief Meteorologist Mark Dixon. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
So the question is, we asked the viewers, what did they think? You're the expert, so how was it?
I mean, it was disappointing for snow lovers. Certainly lackluster. And if we look at meteorological winter, which we define as December, January, and February, first column is precipitation. So that's obviously rain, and we had plenty of it, but also the liquid equivalent of anything frozen. So and this is for the Hartford area, measured at Bradley Airport. So 8.85 inches, so a little bit below average for that 3-month period. When it comes to temperature, just shy of 31-degree average, which is a little bit above average, which correlates, of course, to kind of a wetter winter as opposed to one that was snowier or icier.
Yeah, we got some video here of some of the storms. We did have a couple of named storms, though, this year.
Yeah, so if you're new to Connecticut, this is a tradition that dates back to 1971. So over 5 decades, we've been naming storms. We need to be forecasting 6 inches or more of snow or ½ inch of ice accretion or more for most of Connecticut. So we had Winter Storm Albatross. That was our first one. And every year we have a theme this year, or every season, I should say. This one was birds. So Albatross kicked it off. This was MLK Jr. weekend. We had up to 6 inches of snow in southeastern Connecticut, and even say up around Vernon and Glastonbury, that much snow. So that was followed by Winter Storm Brant that happened on President's Day weekend. But here's a breakdown by month. The left-hand column is a 30-year average of snowfall totals. So February is our snowiest month for the Hartford area, and you can see it was our snowiest month this season, but every month fell short of average. So certainly well below in the snowfall department. So in fact, March right now, there are only 2 other occasions, I believe, where we have not measured snow since records have been kept for the Hartford area over this 31-day period. So that's pretty remarkable.
And hopefully, people like me who like the warm weather, hopefully we're going to skate this out all the way till
Exactly.
the 31st.
Yeah. So this winter again, this season, 21.7 inches. That's 30 inches behind average. 51.7 is the average. And this is a look at the most recent winter seasons. They've all been below average. So the last time we had one that was above was 2017-18, that winter, when we had 56 inches.
And it was just a touch above as compared to 30 inches behind. So
Correct.
Pretty notable trend here on your graphics, Mark.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, as we head forward in time, we're talking about spring,
Oh, this is my favorite. And
yeah.
I know you always make these, and these just make me happy.
Yeah, so we obviously just rang in the spring season, astronomical spring, on Thursday at 5:01 in the morning. So in the month of March, we're gaining daylight at nearly 3 minutes a day, so 85 minutes for the entirety of that 31-day period. And that, of course, is going to peak on the summer solstice coming up in June. But before that, back on the snow front, the latest measured snow for the Hartford area on record, that was back in 1977 on May 9th, 1.3 inches. So the thing about this time of year is if we do get snow, it typically doesn't stay around too long because of the big swings in temperature.
Well, and also the sun angle.
Yes.
You know, you go outside now. We've had a couple of warm days over the last couple of weeks. You go outside, I mean, you can feel that sunlight, and it's definitely, you can tell that there's been just a change in that angle.
Yes, stronger sun angle and longer days as well as we continue to gain that daylight.
All right, the other question is, what else can we look at going forward into the spring season?
All right, so for spring, we've coming off of La Nina. It's been weakening, kind of going neutral. So in a more La Nina type spring, we would be cooler and wetter than normal, but because temperatures are kind of neutralizing, they're coming up. They're not going to be cooler than normal in the equatorial Pacific. It would basically lend to kind of equal chances for above or below average precipitation, and as well for temperature. So nothing too out of the ordinary.
And so, and we'll find out more as we get closer to the summer season about, you know, what will be happening in the tropics, say.
Yes, we'll be watching that, as well as some early indications that maybe the tropical season for the Atlantic basin may not be as active. So we'll have to see how that unfolds. And, you know, last summer, it was the day that we had so many first alert weather days for the extreme heat and humidity, those heat index values reaching dangerous levels. So we'll be monitoring that all, of course, from the First Alert Forecast Center, and the FSB First Alert Weather app is a great way to stay up to date.
Anytime that we're talking about this stuff, it brings to mind, you know, conservation and things like that. but also, Earth Day is a notable one this year because it's an anniversary.
Yeah, 55 years, April 22nd. So mark your calendars now. Maybe find a way to reduce, reuse, recycle, plant a tree, doing something like that. Always encouraged to do year-round, but yeah, 55 years since its inception.
And moving as we go into the spring season with the greater daylight, I know I would always joke with Scott Haney on the morning show, May 10th was always my favorite day because the average temperature hits 70 on May 10th. Does that sound right to you?
It's moved up to May 8th.
Oh, see? The trends are moving in my favor.
There you go, yeah. So every decade, the normals are recalculated. So it's a 30-year time span. So it has moved up a little bit since you were back on the morning show.
It's been a couple of years, so I will mark my calendar accordingly. May 8th is now my favorite day of the meteorological season. Thank you for being with us. I think everybody sees these events and they've remembered the big storms, but to see it all laid out with your graphics, it kind of makes you think about things and think about what's both behind us and ahead of us as we head into the warm weather. We'll, of course, be watching for updates every day. Appreciate it. All right, Mark Dixon, thank you.
Thank you.
That is CT 25 for this week. CBS Sunday Morning, of course, is coming up next. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll meet you back here in Studio A next Sunday morning.